Hey everyone, Carrie Seid here today to talk to you about 5 things that can really limit your creativity in no particular order. So for today's purposes, number 1 is stereotyping. How many stereotypes have you heard or encountered in your own experience about creativity? If you're a creative person, I'm sure the number is more than you care to name. I know that I hear these stereotypes all the time about being an artist, but they go across the board. If you're an architect, does that mean that you have to live in a mid-century modern home and wear certain kinds of glasses? No. If you're an artist, does that mean that you're disorganized, crazy, addicted to drugs, starving? Of course not. Artists are some of the most organized and nourished people I know. If you're a writer, are you alone? Do you live in a garret somewhere? Are you smoking cigarettes all day? Are you depressed? Not necessarily. I know a lot of writers who are extremely happy people who bind together in wonderful groups and really learn how to nurture each other's creativity. So stereotypes are really dangerous, and especially stereotypes that are more subtle. I've just named the more overt ones, but there are covert ones too, which are stereotypes that we absorb about how other people see us. And so when you get stuck in a kind of circle about how you see yourself based on how others see you, that can also be really stultifying to your creativity. So keep things open and don't let stereotypes get in the way of what you want to do today. The second thing that can really limit your creativity is feeling overwhelmed. It's totally natural to feel overwhelmed if you are a creative person who has big ideas and big dreams out there learning huge, enormous, wonderful things, right? So when you go to your workspace and you set about trying to actually realize these big dreams, that can be a lot to take on all at once. So rather than thinking about the end, just take one step at a time. Think about what is the next best thing I can do here? What is the next thing I need to do to start this thing in motion? Also ask yourself, are you afraid of failure? That's a real typical one. Or its lesser known evil twin, are you afraid of success? Because success and failure are both things that we're afraid of because they represent change and the unknown. So recognize where you are, what kind of overwhelmed you're feeling. Even the awareness of these things can really help you out. The number 3 thing that can really limit your creativity is poor work habits. And this nicely relates to number 2, of course. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you procrastinate, you're not going to have good work habits. But I say procrastinate with purpose. Know that's what you're doing, and even ritualize your procrastination. So if there's something you can do for 5 minutes and be totally aware that you're procrastinating and be totally good with it, that is better than procrastinating unconsciously and letting it go on for hours and hours and hours, because it just keeps you away from your important work that you want to do. So to create good work habits, try to keep things streamlined and ritualized as much as possible. And in the morning, rather than checking email and doing things that are passive because they're about other people and what they want from you, do things that are active, that represent what you want to do, what you want to create that day, whether it's sketching, writing, cooking a great breakfast, having a swim, whatever it is that puts you in your own creativity and your best frame of mind to start the day is a good thing to do and totally worth 5 or 10 minutes. The 4th thing that can really limit your creativity is waiting for external validation from others. That's a mouthful, but it's worth talking about because it can be really, really deadly. If you are trying to live up to someone else's idea of what you're supposed to be doing, bad for your creativity. If you are absorbing other people's ideas about what you're supposed to be doing, that can also be really harmful to your creativity, because you're not listening to your own instinct and intuition. So let your instinct and intuition guide you. And number 5, what I like to call the Lone Ranger syndrome. Thinking that you have to go it alone, thinking that because you're a creative person or a self-employed person, that you have to do everything yourself, know everything yourself, and be completely on your own. The truth is, if you are any of those things, that couldn't be farther from what you need. You need help, and it's wonderful to be creative about how you ask for help. In today's culture, you can walk into any bookstore and find a fantastic collection of books in a personal growth section that is sometimes called self-help, which even by its very title implies that we are here to help ourselves. Well, I think we're here to help each other. And I love getting help. I love asking for help, as I learned from my 7th grade math teacher, Arthur Suber, who said, smart people raise their hand and ask questions. They don't sit there and pretend they know something, especially if they don't know it. You can't learn algebra if you don't ask questions, and you can't have a successful practice if you don't get some help, because none of us can do everything by ourselves. So don't be a lone ranger. Get out there and ask for the help that you need. And if you want more help with your creativity or your business, look me up on my website, carrieseid.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.